Hello friends, my name is Repvile. You know, we're pretty close to entering the 20th year of the Sega Dreamcast. So I wanted to kind of bring you something from the ghost of Dreamcast past. Oh, that sounded really stupid. Anyways, this is the Sega Smash Pack Volume 1. You know, this was released, I think in 2001, right about somewhere in January 2001. You could buy this on its own, or it came in a really cool bundled Sega Dreamcast Special Edition. So what this is mostly a collection of Genesis Mega Drive games with a couple extra games added in. Now that might not seem like a big deal today, since we're living in like the golden age of emulation. There's like a million different ways of playing emulated games. But back then, emulation was still kind of in its infancy, and for Sega to have bundled something like this in with their Dreamcast, this is a really great bonus. And I gotta tell you, I just get a little bit nostalgic every time I boot this game up. Anyways, let's take a look and see what we got on the disc. I love that startup, man. It pulls on the heartstrings a little bit, doesn't it? Alright, we have a pretty cool menu screen here. Got that retro look to it. Sonic, Altered Beast, Golden Axe of course, Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage 2, Vector Man, Phantasy Star 2, Shining Force. Here's a game called Wrestle War. Now this is a bit of an odd duck in this collection. We didn't get this here in the US. Columns, Virtual Cop 2. Kind of an odd one too, but an awesome game. I love Virtual Cop 2. Sega Swirl. We'll get to this one in a minute. This is probably my favorite game on the whole bundle. Sega! I will say, as with most emulated games, I think this one plays pretty good. The sound isn't perfect, but it's by no means some AT games trash music. You know what I'm saying? If you ever played those. Has kind of a hollow sound or something to it compared to the original Mega Drive Genesis. Not terrible though. Now, if I remember, I think there might be a text document located on the disc that maybe speaks a little bit about the emulation issue. So one thing that should be noted, most of these are Genesis Mega Drive versions, not the arcade versions.
Rise from your grave.
I loved this damn game when I was a kid. I think a lot of people shit on this game a little bit too much. I mean, it's simple. It's not very long, but damn, it was a fun game.
Welcome to your doom.
Alright, let's try out some Golden Axe. I'm just going to go through most of these games just so you can kind of see how they were emulated, you know, how they play. The only exceptions, I'm not going to play Phantasy Star or Shining Force. You know, I don't think you want to sit here and watch me create a character and do all that. It takes a while for those games to get started anyways. And I'll try not to talk very much and just let you, you know, listen to the sound effects and the music. So I just want to say I love this title screen. There weren't many games that let you screw around, you know, at the title screen. Yeah, I thought this was a cool little extra. Even though, like, it's worthless, it was fun to do. Unique. Alright, like I said, I'm not gonna get into these two games. They just take too long to get started, to get to the point where, you know, it's worth watching. But this is an interesting game. I think this came out in the arcade, and in Europe and Japan they got a Genesis, well, a Mega Drive port of this, but we didn't get it over here. And it's a pretty fun game. It's real arcadey. It's pretty difficult though. But I love the character models on it. They're really cool. They're real cartoon looking. Reminds me a lot of like Ultimate Muscle. So this is Virtual Cop 2, and man, this was such a fun game. Even more fun if you had the light gun, you know. I had House of the Dead, and I had Crimson OX, so I really loved the light gun games on the Dreamcast. It's not as much fun if you don't have a gun and you have to use the cursor, but it's a little odd they included on the disc, but I'm glad that it's here, because it added a lot of value to it, in my opinion.
Let's go! Reload! 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 Somebody help me! Don't shoot!
Alright, so the last game I'm going to show you is Sega Swirl. Now, a lot of you probably aren't familiar with this game, but this was a really fun and really addicting game, and it had some unique features to it. So there were a couple other ways of getting this game. If you had the web browser, I think 2.0 disc, I think this is on that also, and may even have been on some of the demo discs. And if you play this for any length of time, that song will get stuck in your head. Alright, so you got a lot of different modes here. Level challenge, versus challenge, you can play against other people, you know, you got up to 4 players, or you can play the computer. So that email challenge is pretty neat, but it took a long time. You could send emails with... You could play against people on the PC and you could email each other the moves. But man, it would take forever to do it. So the gameplay is pretty basic. You're just eliminating the colors, and the more you have together, the more points you get. So you want to try to get as many colors to stick together as you can. Simple game, really addicting, really fun game. Alright, so let's try a versus challenge. Like I said, you can play up to 4 players or against the computer AI. Now with this one, you all have to take turns. So the strategy gets a little bit different. You want to try to get as many as, you know, in a row that you can, but you don't want to try to like set the next player up to get a bunch. And we got split screen challenge. So with this, we're all gonna have 4 independent screens, and then we're gonna, whoever gets the most points basically wins the game. So it's a very simple game, but very fun game. I think this even came out on like the Palm OS a long time ago. Some of you probably don't even remember the Palm OS. Alright, so that is the Sega Smash Pack Volume 1 for the Sega Dreamcast. And I've been playing a lot of Dreamcast lately, so I'm probably going to add some more Dreamcast things since we're, you know, getting closer to the 20-year mark. And, well, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See ya.